Okay, so for the first color, I am going to make a really bright pink, kind of like a fuchsia color, a little different than what we did in early spring. If you've been following along our IGTV series and some of our other lives that we've done. So I'm going to start, because this is going to be a darker color, I know that I want my base mostly to be a little bit darker. So I'm going to start with my darker colors first. If I was going to make a light pink, I would start with white first and then add my color. But since I know I want this to be darker first, I'm going to start with my darkest color. So these are liquid concentrates. A little bit goes a long way, so we measure them in drops. We add a little bit at a time. I already know that I want a darker shade, so I'm going to go ahead and start, with 4 drops here. And then you'll be able to see what a huge impact this has on my base here. And red is the most concentrated of our colors, so just a little bit of that will go a really, really long way. It's very similar to the impact that a blue liquid concentrate would have. So you can see I have a really great base there. So now I can also see that this is kind of translucent, so I'm going to add some of my white liquid concentrate. I always like to remove these little rings too. I don't know if you can see that here from my liquid concentrate, so they don't fall in my polish, which can happen sometimes. So I know that in order to get more of an opaque color, I'm going to have to add at least 10 drops of my white. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So that's what I'm gonna do here. I have about, it's probably the equivalent of 8 drops there. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix that in. You can see I have a nice dark pink here. So here's where I'm gonna get to play with the color a little bit. So before I add my last 2 drops of white, I am going to add just a little bit of my pigment here. And I also going to keep track of this on my recipe card here. So we had the white and we had the red, 4, we have 8. Now I'm going to use this color. It's my pigment 0335. I'm going to put that right in there. I did a little less than a half a scoop, which you can totally do, but you just want to document that. And then you'll see that this won't be as potent as the liquid concentrate, but you can definitely see it's a darker, a little bit of a darker color. And you want to make sure that you're mixing this really, really thoroughly. That looks fantastic. So sometimes it'll just take you a little bit to do the full mixing here. So by the looks of this, I do want it to be a little bit more intense, so I am going to add a little bit more of my red. So I'm going to do 2 more drops of this. And that's what I was looking for. So I'm glad I didn't add the extra white drops, and I have enough of the red liquid concentrate in it, so it is going to not be so translucent when I put it on my nails. But again, you can always test this out right up here on your mats. But I'm pretty happy with this, so I'm going to go ahead and bottle. And then I'll be posting these recipes as well on our Instagram when I make this post as well. So if you do have this kit or are thinking about purchasing this kit, you'll be able to find the recipe there as well as our YouTube channel. This is super, super fun, bright fuchsia pink for summer. And again, when you're filling your bottle, you always want to make sure that you just fill it up right to the shoulder of the bottle, not up at the neck where the threads of the bottle are, but just to the shoulder here. I can see I'm already almost there. So I'm going to stop pouring here. Set that aside and cap it. And then the last thing that you'll be able to do with these polishes, or with your polishes, is you're able to name them. The other thing that you can do with these name labels too, if you are keeping track of your colors when you make them, and when you want to make sure that you're using your polishes by, is you can also put a date on here so that you know when you made it. It's also helpful just to realize how long you've had your polish. Usually they'll stay good for at least a year, but closer to 2 years. So just keep that in mind whenever you're looking at your polishes and keeping up with your collection and the different colors that you're adding. All right, stay tuned for our next summer color from our purple, red, pink Make Your Own Polish Kit.